This is ranking the 4 Mad Max movies from worst to best. Number 4, Mad Max Fury Road. I'm sorry, but I just don't dig Fury Road. I don't like that Max is relegated to being a secondary character while Furiosa's front and center. And I know none of the Mad Max movies are the most intricately plotted films in the world, but still, story-wise, I wanted more from this movie than just one long chase through the desert and then back the way they came. Also, Tom Hardy as Mad Max doesn't hold a candle to Mel Gibson. Number 3, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I've always felt that Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome carried the series into a more fantastical direction, which I have mixed feelings about. The lost tribe of kids that Max encounters in the second half of the movie gives Beyond Thunderdome a feel that's more kid-friendly than I prefer. Also, the vehicle chases, which are such a big part of the Mad Max series, don't happen until pretty late in the movie. That said, it's a very good-looking movie, and it's arguably the most epic Mad Max film with the grandest visual sweep. Also, the Thunderdome fight scene is one of the best scenes in the series. And one of the best parts of the movie, of course, is Tina Turner. Number 2, Mad Max. The original Mad Max movie was made on a shoestring budget, and you can really tell because it lacks the visual polish of the later films. The script of this movie is also kind of rough around the edges because there are a lot of scenes involving the villains, the Toe Cutters gang, and they're interacting with characters that are not Mad Max. Therefore, the pacing of this film can at times feel slow, even though it's only a little bit more than an hour and a half. Despite its shortcomings, the original Mad Max is still beyond impressive considering the limited resources that they had to make it, and George Miller in his directorial debut just straight out of the gate really shows aptitude for capturing exciting high-octane action. Also, when watching this movie, you can tell that George Miller is a director with a signature style and vision. Coming out of the late 70s, the original Mad Max movie has elements of punkishness to its style with the leather outfits that the characters wear and some of their hairstyles. All the Mad Max movies have elements of punkishness, to be fair, but what I like about the first movie is that that style feels very grounded and street level, whereas in the later films it feels a lot more exaggerated and it's more cartoonish. But the true strength of this movie really is Mel Gibson as Mad Max. Throughout the series, he does an excellent job at playing the laconic, stoic anti-hero, but I especially love his performance in the first movie, particularly after Max's wife and son are killed by the Toe Cutters gang, and then Max goes, well, mad. When it comes to conveying craziness through the eyes, there are few actors quite like Mel Gibson. And number 1, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Whereas the original Mad Max movie was visually rough around the edges, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior had a much bigger budget which enabled George Miller to refine his aesthetics and his action style. Also, Road Warrior's script is a lot more polished than the first movies, which gives it better pacing. And as far as I'm concerned, the vehicle chases in Road Warrior are the best in the entire series. The best, of course, being the climactic fuel tanker chase at the end, which I think Fury Road took more than a little bit from. Also, Road Warrior has my favorite cast of Mad Max characters, like the gyro captain with the snake, Lord Humongous, Lord Humongous's Lieutenant Wez, who's a complete friend of Dorothy, the feral kid with the boomerang who can't speak but is somehow narrating the film, so I guess he learned how to speak later on, and of course, Mad Max himself. It's just such a memorable classic cast of characters, and it's why Road Warrior is my most watched Mad Max movie. And that's why it's number 1.